Part 1. Ming Yu was a fool, a lunatic. The sun is scorching, the sky is filled with yellow sand, and the old vines and trees are even more depressed and dilapidated in this situation. A team of several hundred soldiers and horses escorted more than a dozen carriages and slowly moved towards the west. From a distance, the team formed a long line in twists and turns. The carriage is very luxurious and comfortable, walking in the middle and front of the queue. At the end of the line, a few soldiers dragged their tired steps, and their mouths were a little dry. One soldier took off the bamboo tube around his waist and took a sip. The person next to him glanced at him. "Let's save it. There is no shop in front of the village or in the back of this place. If there is no water supply, I will see what you will do when the time comes." The man looked up at the sky, and then he spat fiercely. "Bah! It doesn't matter so much, it won't kill people of thirst. Right? Hey, don't talk about it, the troops are in chaos here, and they may die at some point. There is a saying." "What are you talking about? What is it called? What are the horses and what are the corpses?" Another soldier said carelessly. "Bah! Joe Da Dan, you crow-mouthed. What are you talking about? What a bad thing. I still have to save this life to go home and marry a daughter-in-law." The man who drank the water was called Li Man. His words are very depressing, but Joe Da Dan is notorious for being fearless. And he has always ignored his words. That is, we are unlucky, and we were chosen to follow such a master. Joe Da Dan didn't care, he touched his forehead and laughed twice. "What's wrong? It's better to come here, wait for me. If you fight with the Yi people, you might be like our Dayan generals, and you can be admired." "Hey, Joe Da Dan, are you a green onion? Are you worthy of being compared with our Dayan generals?" Someone next to him sneered. Li Man drank the last drop of water again and felt a little unhappy. Hearing Joe Da Dan said this, he felt even more unlucky. He stretched out his hand and hit Joe Da Dan's helmet, swiping his helmet crookedly, and said cursingly, "Go away, you're going to die. Don't drag us." Joe Da Dan was slapped and said, "Don't worry, just straighten the helmet with a good temper," but there is a bright light in his eyes. The people around him all know Joe Da Dan's straight temper, and it's not easy to care about him, and he is a peacemaker in the middle. "Okay. It's just that we people who don't have a strong relationship in Beijing will be instructed to come here where birds don't lay eggs." As soon as these words came out, the people around were quiet for a moment, and many people felt confused about the future. Do you really have a future if you follow such a person? They are all from the capital, and their living conditions are excellent. After coming here, what they have seen and heard are all chilling, which makes them more or less uneasy. The time is also the fate, as soon as it comes. "It is safe," someone said with relief. "Be safe, mother. There is a stable life, but come here, that fool is dragging us to die with him." Before Li Man finished speaking, he was covered by one of his companions. "Tell him not to talk nonsense. Fortunately, these people are good brothers who know the truth, and they will not talk about anything. But be careful to make the Wanian ship. If it is accidentally passed on to that person's ears, it will be fatal. That person is a bit stupid, but he is domineering." Li Man finally struggled to open his hand, pouted, and spit out a mouthful of saliva, which was also full of yellow sand. Finally, seeing these people looking at him in horror, he finally closed his mouth with no meaning. What can be done? Boss Song, who was with them, learned the news early, and secretly made a lot of money. In addition, his uncle, the general of the Imperial Guard, was transferred from it, and now he is enjoying the happiness in the capital? Where is it like them who have no status and are sent to guard such a fool? From now on, I am afraid that I can only stay in this place where birds don't lay eggs all my life. I am afraid that it will be difficult to return to the capital. Thinking of this, a feeling of unwillingness arises in his heart. After a short period of silence, someone saw the long trot of their own team coming back, so they naturally changed the topic and said with experience, "Let's go quickly, maybe the front is about to set up camp." Usually, this time to order a rest. After he finished speaking, Li Man looked at the front and could only see a small carriage, and thought to himself, it would be better for this fool to be hacked and killed by those barbarians. He didn't notice at all that if the person they guarded died, none of them would survive. The single charge of protecting the master fail alone would be enough for them to behead 10 or 8 times. That's right, the one in front of the carriage is the 14th prince of the Dayan Country, who was named Prince Duan not long ago. And they are the guards assigned to the 14th prince. And this trip is to accompany the 14th prince to the fief, Liangcheng. The 14th prince, Ming Yu, was a little dumb since he was born, because he was born by the late Empress Yuan. And because he was stimulated in his mother's womb, so he was born prematurely in less than a month. The emperor felt a little guilty and pity for him. In order to compensate, the emperor originally wanted to arrange a wealthy fief near Jingji, so that the 14th prince lived like this for a lifetime in peace and stable. However, a fool is a fool. He was a little stupid. He even gave up the prosperous land of Jingji and pestered the emperor to beg the westernmost Liangcheng. What could there be? In addition to being desolate, the most terrifying thing is that the Shishi country next to it invades Dayan Country from time to time, burns, kills, robs and abuses, and Liangcheng is the closest to Shishi country. Therefore, when the barbarians of Shishi country invade, Liangcheng always bear the brunt. How hard does this stupid prince want to go to die now? For this foolish prince, those who followed the guards did not have no complaints. If so many of them were to accompany this fool to die, who would be willing? In the carriage, Ming Yu was holding a book, The Landscape of Dayan Country, in his hand, which he had been holding in his hand every day for the past few months. Although he still didn't understand the traditional Chinese characters, he could even guess it. Guessing 8, 9 or close to 10, plus there are many pictures and descriptions in it. It is clear and clear, combined with the pictures, he can still read it with relish. After he came here, it was through this book that he learned about the entire Dayan country. That's right. Ming Yu is not from here. The 4th prince has the same name, and I don't know why, but when I opened my eyes, I came to the Dayan country, which was unprecedented in history, and woke up in the body of the prince with the same name. And the owner of this body is Ming Yu, the 14th prince of the Dayan country, the second son of the late Empress Yuan, and the same mother as the Prince Ming Yi. Empress Yuan and the emperor were husband and wife since young lover, so the emperor and empress have deep feelings for each other. But after the Empress Yuan gave birth to the prince, the root of the disease fell, and the body and bones were a little weak. The anger was deeply implicated. The Empress Yuan was not in good health and was frightened by the witchcraft disaster, causing the fetus to be born prematurely. After giving birth to the 14th prince, she passed away soon after. The 14th prince did not develop well in the mother's body, and later was born prematurely and was congenitally weak. After the death of the Empress Yuan, the emperor was sad and had no intention of taking care of such a child, so he ordered concubine Wei to raise it on his behalf. Because it is not like his own child, he is not so dedicated. And he never takes care of it when it is left to the next level grandma. So, the abnormality of the 14th prince was not noticed at all. And he was stupid and dumb until he was 6 or 7 years old, and he couldn't express it in words. Only then did the emperor notice that this son was coming a fool. After the imperial physician in the palace looked at it, he shook his head. This is a congenital deficiency, and he can only cherish the slow nourishment of medicinal herbs and supplements. The emperor also owes this son a bit, and now there is no way to do it. Since they said that they need to nourish, can their royal family still lack good medicinal materials? This nourishing then nourished too much, and made up a chubby little fat man. Over the years, the 14th prince has been dubbed the stupid name. In fact, in the eyes of modern Ming Yu, the 14th prince is just a little slower to respond, and he is not good at expressing and communicating, and the rest is no different. As for the rumored reputation of being domineering, Ming Yu knew very well in his heart that a large part of it was exaggerated from the mouths of others, while the other part was deliberately done by Ming Yu after wearing it. The palace is a big dye vat. In the dark corner, what kind of snake, rat, insect and ant are missing? The 14th prince is so indifferent to the world and a little stupid, it is impossible for him to block the way of others. However, for their own purposes, those people actually cause the 14th prince to fall into the water, which is equivalent to directly killing a human life. If he hadn't warned the 14th prince, there would be no such person by now. In the eyes of those people, if such a person is gone, it will be gone. It doesn't matter at all, right? Ming Yu has inherited all the memories of the 14th prince, and naturally knows the cause and effect. In the harem, it is common to fight openly and secretly in order to compete for favor. He was entrusted to foster care under the name of concubine Wei. The emperor has become more and more affectionate in recent years, and he will come to see him every time he misses him. It is also because of this that the time spent in the palace of concubine Wei will be much more, and there will be some love for concubine Wei, which is something that no one else can ask for. So, let the people who have the heart keep it in their hearts, and even hold grudges against the 14th prince. Which makes people plan a scene where the 14th prince accidentally falls into the water. First, it can solve an unimportant but extremely annoying fool, and secondly, this fool in the event of an accident, concubine Wei, who is in charge of taking care of him, will also be hanged because of it. How much will the emperor value her at that time? Isn't it beautiful to kill two birds with one stone like this? In his conception for decades in later generations, these people were all murderers. They killed the 14th prince and deserved the punishment they deserved, but it didn't work here. The biggest thing was imperial power, and the 14th prince died for this. At most, he was a little frightened at that time. Because in this way, the big things were reduced to the small ones. Even the emperor did not thoroughly investigate, but he repeatedly mentioned it and put it down, only to make the people involved in the incident fined and suspended. How can he swallow this breath? Only Ming Yu knows that the 14th prince is no longer there. Although he can't let those people be punished, he still needs to take a breath for the 14th prince. So, Ming Yu, who came through, didn't care, and he simply burned the Pingfu palace of concubine Shu today, beat the 11th prince of concubine De tomorrow, and beat the eunuch of Yang palace later. All in all, when the 14th prince Ming Yu launched a ruthless attack, it was not stupid, but he was like a little lunatic. So, for a while, everyone in the palace was talking about it and turned pale. When they saw this little madman from a distance, everyone avoided it,